Are we live?
Oh, it says you're live.
Oh, okay. I'm pouring my LaCroix at Kay's Coffee because
Hey,
now
why
they
don't
have...
I have a glass like
That was the last one. They're so busy. Did you see in there? It's like standing room only. So anyway, if you come to Kay's now and you're not in the coffee mood, you can get LaCroix, sparkling water. So there you go. So I treat myself every once in a while to a LaCroix. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining us live. And I'm just going to check the Patreon page really quick and make sure we're up and going. So let's press this and see if there's movement happening on the screen.
Can you see us?
I
Should
feel
they
like
let
they're
us
looking
know?
up our noses. So I'm going to turn... Oh, orientation is blocked that way. So let's try a different approach. Can I use your bag?
Yeah. You mean my purse?
Yes.
Your bag.
Okay, so now
Is that better?
That's better. Boy, they get a crystal view of the LaCroix there.
Maybe we should look down.
So we got text messages coming in. So Kay's Coffee is nice enough to let us podcast once again. And so thank you for that. You can check them out at Kay's Coffee. If you Google that, it'll come up K as in the letter K, and then coffee as in the letter K. So thank you, Kay's Coffee and Christy and Steve.
They're very busy today.
Let me see what
Busy.
I'm just checking the link to see if we're moving here. Yes, we are. So if you have questions, I hope that you'll post them below and we can answer them live on the air today. But we are actually talking weight loss resistance. So if you don't know what that means, stay tuned because I'm going to explain it. We're also going to be talking sustainable clothing because you guys, if you've paid attention to any of my podcasts, you've seen me talk about why we don't want to wear polyester. We want to move towards natural fibers and get away from the unnatural fibers. And I'm going to explain why that is. But I think you had some news you wanted to share with the viewers.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
talking about the
yes,
bad news?
Yes.
Okay.
You're like dumbfounded.
Okay, so we've had some sad news come across the Jodelle and Bunny
Yes.
podcast. Are you ready? I know it's very sad. John Stamos got married last week.
You know, can we just have a moment of silence, please? Because
Yes.
women across the globe are going, what? My hopes are all dashed. You know, like it is. It's true. Our hopes are dashed. However,
Take a deep breath.
we can still look at him, and that's a nice thing. So there's that. But
He was made by the Creator for
that's
us
right.
to enjoy.
Yes. God wanted us to view beautiful things, and
Yeah,
that would be John
and
Stamos.
he did a beautiful thing.
So before we get too much in depth with that and our tears, I also want to mention that we have promo codes for you.
Yay.
So if you're needing a refill on your F-bombs, we've got that promo code. We've got the crickets are back, so we've got a cricket promo code for those of you that are ready to try roasted crickets. By the way, they are high in DHA, so if you're trying to up your fatty acids, definitely want to get those on board. And if you're doing an all-meat approach, cricket would fit that. So
Can you still see me?
Yes. Via the camera. Also, we have our Swannies on, and we have a discount code for that too. So, hi, we have little people coming by. Okay, so let's get right into
weren't that little.
the subject at hand for your edutainment. That's our new word.
Edutainment.
We're edutaining you. Education with a little dash of entertainment. Or nerdiness, whatever that
It
was.
is very nerdy.
So I want to give one promo code right away.
Oh,
if
good.
you do want the Swannies, go to my shop page, getfitwithjodelle.com/shop, and click the Swanee button that says Buy Swannies. Go there and type in Get Fit, all one word, for 10% off.
Nice.
So yeah, there you go. There's
Very
that
nice.
one. And that way
You
you're
got that.
blocking the blue light when you're watching us too. Very important. Your daughter just ordered some, by the way, she told me. So shout out to Ashley. She's going to be blocking the blue light like the rest of us.
She is.
So, okay. Sustainable clothing. We're going to be talking about that. Weight loss resistance is what I want to start with. But if you have any questions, let us know while we're podcasting here and we will answer that. So let me pull down and make sure nobody's posted anything yet. Oh, wait. Are we going?
Do we have some viewers? 2?
Let's see.
Yay!
You're all set. I don't want to schedule that. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to make sure this is working. So hang on.
We're making sure.
Yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So talk about do you know what I mean by weight loss resistance?
Well, it means that no matter what you've tried, you feel like you can't lose weight. And I know that numbers are not supposed to be that important, But I also know that it is very frustrating to not, you feel like you do everything you can. You watch what you eat, you exercise and stuff, and that stupid scale won't move. Although men, why is it that men can lose weight so much? What is that? Answer that. Riddle me that.
Let me try this again.
Why? It's
I
like,
may have.
I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, a guy, and I said, why can a man just look at a scale and say, I want to lose 10 pounds, and it goes, what?
Well, that does have to do with testosterone. So there's.
Well, I don't have that. And then a woman can say, okay, I'll give myself 6 months to lose 10 pounds, and maybe in 6 months you lose 1 or 2.
Yeah, well, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, because there are factors that go into it that you could be doing the exact right diet, like perfect, spot on, not missing a beat, not having cheats anywhere. You could have the most perfect exercise program, not missing a beat every day, you're on track, and yet nothing is changing. So that's why we need to talk about what else could be going on, because there's lots of factors that go into this. So you've heard, the reason why I'm kind of talking about weight loss resistance is you've heard about insulin resistance. Even there's things like cortisol resistance, like where you don't have cortisol for your stress hormones. There's lots of like different resistances. Leptin resistance. I even have a meal plan, and actually leptin is one thing we'll be talking about, because it has to do with resistance a little bit of the weight as well. So these are when the body becomes resistant to something you're doing or something you're taking in, and despite your best efforts, it's not going to do what you want it to do. Okay. And so we're going to talk about those. Sometimes it has nothing to do with diet and nutrition. It's outside of that. And I've touched on that with other podcasts before, but I wanted to go right into why it can matter to you with weight loss resistance. So when you give your full effort, you expect consistent results.
Yes, you do.
Unfortunately, fat loss doesn't always come that easy. Okay. So your body is a scientific experiment, not a bank account. Okay. And the calories in, calories out, that's what I mean about the bank account, doesn't work. Okay, we all know that. We've been there, done that, tried it, doesn't work. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Why? Because the calories of a Twinkie could be the same as 3 cups of broccoli, and I can guarantee you, if you ate Twinkies every day and stayed within your calorie range, you're not going to get results. Okay.
Did you bring a Twinkie?
I did not. I don't even. Do I want to embalm myself before I'm time to go to the mortuary? Because that's what they do.
I haven't had a Twinkie in a really, really long time.
So what we're going to go through all these different things. What keeps you from budging the pudge? Basically, is how I'm wording it. Budging the pudge.
Is that another way for losing weight?
Yeah,
Budging the pudge.
Budging the pudge away. Okay. Because we see it on us. Okay, let me give you a personal experience right now. In the last podcast for just the patrons, I shared that I recently found out I'm hypothyroid, which means low thyroid function. And that's why I've had trouble with my eyes, and that's really the only issue I had. But I wasn't getting lean like I had been. Like I could eat exactly as I always did, and actually over the past year I've been cleaner than ever, because I actually eliminated more things because my body was not getting the results I thought I could get from my workouts and from my normal really well eating. So I was like, what's going on? What gives? Like even little issues of cellulite were showing up, and I'm like, this is fast. Like it happened fast. It was like at the first of the year I didn't have any, and then by 2 months later I was like riddled with it. And so I was like, something's going on. So that's why
that's the cellulite I want, is what you have.
Well, what I'm saying is something's going on, and so I went and got blood work, and I found out that I have really, really low thyroid. And what's weird was I didn't have any symptoms other than the eye thing. Like my eyes were really red. They're much better now, but they're really red and kind of baggy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember you had little bags under there.
Right. And so I did all these things. Like I gave up coffee. I was thinking, what's going on? Like, is it something I'm doing? And I tried everything. Nothing worked. And it wasn't until I went and got the blood work and found out I was hypothyroid, and I was like, I'm not tired. I'm not losing my hair. I'm not cold all the time. Like none of those fit me. Like those are all the symptoms of hypothyroidism, like brain fog, fatigue, really low energy all the time, and you gain weight for no reason. Now that one I felt like was happening on a small scale, but I was like, that's the only symptom other than the eye thing that I had. You will get eye irritation and bags, puffy bags under your eyes and stuff. So I didn't see that coming, and so I I found out weight loss resistance happens to the best of us, even if we don't exhibit any of the symptoms. Well, my screen keep going light.
I know.
I'm just gonna keep touching you guys
Yeah.
because apparently I have to do that.
I'll do it. Come on.
So anyway, it can happen to the best of us, and you can have the best efforts going, you can have the best protocol going, but yet there might be an underlying issue of something going on that you have no idea about, which is why I'm not crazy about blood work, but in a matter of like you've tried everything, you've done everything, you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's, you're like, I gotta figure out what's going on with my body.
So I think sometimes you need to find out what those readings are to make sure you're on the right track. Now, people that get it done like every 3 months, I don't think that's necessary.
Well, it's probably more telling because then you see more of like a continuation of what's happening versus me. I hadn't had blood work in like 7 years, so I had no idea, and that was just like when you have to, like for fertility testing, I had blood work way back, and so I was like, I don't need blood work, I'm fine, I know how to take care of myself. So it wasn't until I got it that I was like, oh wow, everything is fine except for everything that was correlated to my thyroid. All of the numbers that went with my thyroid were off, but all the rest of my body was fine. So you can have like everything working out except for this one thing that's holding you back. So here's some things that could be doing that. Okay, so what I call refined garbage. So
you need a Jodelle dictionary.
I know, right? I have a friend, Cassandra, and if she's watching, she knows because she speaks Cassandranese, and she always makes up these little words. So I'm always trying to stay one step ahead of her because she makes up really good words. So anyway, refined garbage, that's the refined foods, and usually those refined foods are lots of carbohydrates, so it's refined garbage. So if you haven't really picked up on, if you're looking to lose weight, that you need to change your eating and make sure that you're eating appropriately, that would be step number 1. Okay, but if you're doing that and you've eliminated the refined garbage, then let's move on, because that one I don't have to discuss at length or at nauseum. Stress and cortisol. Okay, this is a big one, and I feel like this is the one that caused my issue and why I wanted to bring this up, because again, you can have the best protocol going on, but if you are stressed out, or you're not taking time for that vitamin P we talk about, or you just have too many irons in the fire, like I have so many things I'm passionate about, so I was sleeping, I was going to bed at my 8:30 time, getting up when my body woke up, but during the day I'm like, fire, 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 put the irons in, try to get all these things done. And I think I was burning my body out with traveling and with all the different jobs I do and the things I try to take on. And I think that's true for all of us, and especially women. I call it phenomenal. Here's another little euphemism. You're phenomenal because you're like, I'm going to do it all, and nobody does it the way I do it. So if I don't do it, it's not going to get done.
A lot of women are caught in that.
Yeah. And
a lot of moms.
And that can cause excess stress, which this is how it works. So the stress, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a mom. You could be a grandma or somebody that doesn't even have kids, but you have so many creative energies that you're just like kind of pouring yourself out and getting nothing in return. And so what happens on a physiological scale is that stress triggers cortisol. Cortisol then calls for more blood sugar to be made from your body. That means muscle and tissues of your body are broken down to form glucose. So let's say that you're fasting and you haven't eaten anything all day because you're like, I'm doing this intermittent fasting and I'm taking care of my body. Or you've eaten really clean all day, but your body is so stressed out that it goes, I need more cortisol to handle all this stress. So cortisol is pumped out and it raises blood sugar because it converts your tissue, your delicate tissue that we need so badly, into blood sugar. So then insulin is spiked, and then insulin triggers more fat, okay? Because insulin is our fat storing hormone. So the blood sugar goes up, insulin goes up to match it. It takes care of it for a while, but if blood sugar's always pumping out because you're stressed, you're not going to lose weight, and you're going to keep putting on weight. Or at least at best you're not going to lose. I mean, that's the best case scenario. So not really a best case scenario anyway. So that's why when I tell people, what's your stress on a scale of 1 to 10? When I do a nutrition consult, I'll ask that. And they go,
14.
Oh, yeah. I would believe that about you. But sometimes they'll say, oh, like a 3, like it's not bad. But then I have to ask this question. I say, okay, are you the type of person that puts pressure on yourself? Like outside of your job?
A lot of people don't realize how stressed out they are.
Exactly, or how much stress they put on themselves. That's the person I was. My life doesn't feel stressful because I love everything that I do. But
I know that's what I'm saying is And you get used to it. You're like,
the pressure I put
this is
on
how I live.
Yeah, the pressure I put on myself to get all these things done and to be everything to everyone, it's adding up. And so I had to like take a step back and go, okay, I need to reevaluate my priorities. I need to make some changes. I need to take care of my health and my family versus trying to put all these creative energies into all these aspects of my life. So when your health is on the line, then yeah, you do have to make some effort.
Don't mind me.
Oh, we forgot to start iTunes with your phone, so we might not be able to put this
Can
on
we?
iTunes.
Oh shoot! Well,
Maybe I can find a way to do a YouTube on iTunes.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll try.
Okay.
So weight loss resistance has a lot to do. That's why one of the top things I talked about, if you've got the refined garbage out of the way, is stress. That's the next thing you're gonna. Yeah, that's the next thing you're gonna tackle. Is because you, again, how is that working for you if you're going to continue with really good eating and exercise, but the stress stays the same and you're like, what gives? Like, no matter if I eat cake or if I eat a carrot, it's not mattering that my body's changing. So I just give up, So you have to go, all right, where can I start saying no? Where can I add more sleep to my life to help with the stress? Where can I take some irons out of the fire? Even if it means I make less money or I see less people or I have just these various things that I can do and I can't do these other things. What can I do to save my sanity and my health, basically? So I know that stupid screen we keep having
Why does
to
it
touch
keep
it.
doing that? Sure.
So cortisol can produce just as much sugar as eating a donut. So let's say you're eating the best diet possible, but because of the amount of cortisol you're putting out, it's like, hi, here's your gigantic maple pecan donut, and you don't even get to enjoy that. You're just getting the sugar bang of it. Yeah. So anyway, that's one reason why you could be having an issue. Now, the next one is lack of dopamine. So I just released a podcast recently, a little webinar on Patreon about, and it's on YouTube too, about dopamine. Dopamine's that motivation neurotransmitter. So it's the I want to get up and work out. I want to get up and eat healthy. I want to do good things for my body. If you're lacking that neurotransmitter, you're going to go, well, I want to lose weight and I want to make the right decisions, but I just have the energy, or I just don't have the willpower, or I just don't know how to start. And that doesn't have to mean something's wrong with you other than your low brain chemistry, okay? And so there's a whole a video I want you to go watch if that's you, so that you can go and get all of my tools for you to amp up your dopamine production. But I will say it starts with sunlight. You get a lot of dopamine from being out in the sun and getting your eyeballs into the sun. And then also eating protein. That helps with neurotransmitter, getting your gut in order so that you actually make dopamine and send it up to the brain where it's supposed to. So I'm talking a lot. What do you have to say about all of this?
I'm taking it in because I'm thinking about it, yeah. Because and like you, dopamine. So if you're good on dopamine, then you shouldn't really need an antidepressant.
Exactly. Yes, and I'm glad you said that
because some of us in the winter tend to get depressed.
Yeah, that also has to do with serotonin too. So serotonin and dopamine are like buddies that should always be ruling in your brain. Serotonin is the feel-good neurotransmitter, and then dopamine is the I want to live, zest for life, do cool things, like make my body healthy. And if you don't have either of those, you're going to be like, wah, 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 about everything, okay? And so that starts in the gut. Get your gut in order first, and then it goes up to the brain, and it all works in harmony. So, and I can help you with that, because I help a lot of people.
And I can help you with that.
We start with the
gut.
There's
an app for that.
The gut is where it's at, man. Okay, so along the line, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so when people are depressed or they're down or, just when it's a cloudy day and stuff, they want to eat. Mm-hmm. So that's why it kind of goes hand in hand.
Well, and we're going to
Is that right?
We're going to touch on that, like as I touch. We're going to touch on that because there's a reason why that is. Because most
I don't like it.
Let's say most people are inside because it's cloudy and they're not getting sunlight. What are they doing?
That's what I'm saying. They sit inside and eat.
Well,
and they're
and what else are they doing? When you're inside, what are you doing?
You're usually laying on the couch watching TV.
Okay, so there's one aspect of blue light. What else are they doing?
Eating. Lots of times they,
Besides that. Playing on their phone, playing on their tablet, playing on their iPad, their computer. I mean, most people when they're inside, they're not like,
they're not doing
making
something
crafts.
productive.
Yeah, they're
Sometimes
not.
we are.
Yeah, but not all the time. Most of the time. And we're going to touch on why blue light and radiation actually cause you to eat more and could be part of the weight loss resistance aspect. Okay, we'll get to that. No jumping ahead. Okay, lack of sleep, that's one where somebody's eating right, they're exercising right, they're not sleeping. Okay, that's stress. That goes back to the stress factor of too much cortisol.
I don't know
output.
anyone that has that problem.
Yeah, I'm not even going there because I've been there so many times.
I'm better. I am better.
Do you at least wear your blue blockers at night that I gave you? Okay, moving on.
Sometimes
blue blockers.
I know I have them.
Okay,
I have them.
Everybody's getting them. Everybody's doing it. So you might as well do it too.
Everybody's doing it.
I had one client.
I have been putting my phone on airplane mode at night. I know.
Boom,
chakalaka.
That's it.
I know.
One of my clients texted me recently and said, "I am wearing blue blockers right now. I'm texting you, and I'm really tired, and I want to go to bed." And it was like 6:30, and I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, no kidding.
So it's working. It's working around the world. So you got to get yours too. Okay, so lack of sleep we've talked about. Much needed accountability. What if the stress that you're under and you're trying to burn the candle at both ends and do the right healthy eating and exercise, but you have no support? Everybody around you is going, well, just eat it. It's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just eat it. Or just don't go to the gym. You just went yesterday, and you have no support. So you have to search out someone to be your support, to be your advocate, your ambassador for what you're doing, and have them check in on you. Have them talk to you about like what they're doing and how they be of assistance to you. Tell them exactly what you need from them. I've had this conversation with wives before because their husbands will kind of sabotage them and bring home their favorite things. And I've said, sit down with them and explain to your husband how crucial it is that you get his support, and in a loving way say, I need your help. When men hear that, they're like, oh, I'm like manly man, and I can like be my wife's helper. And so like that makes the man feel really good. So if you take a second and just tell, I need your help, I need your support, please, if you could avoid bringing these foods in for a while. There is a time when I'm going to have them again, but just not right now. And if you could help me out with the kids or help me out with this when I need to work out or go for a walk. If you say, I need your help versus you should do this and you should do that, men don't respond really well to the words you should. Yeah. They're more like, you should shut up. So let's approach it with the I would like this, or I would love, or this would make me really happy, or would you please, like something like that. Here's my little the nutrition therapist there. Marriage counseling.
If most men are like Dale, I know what'll burn some calories off.
Oh yeah. Well, and
but I can also go for a run.
I did read a book that talked about how men do respond to would you rather than can you, because they get intimidated when you say can you, because they're like I can doesn't mean I will.
That's because they're like still in kindergarten.
Yeah. But if you say, will you take out the trash, they'll be like, yes, I will.
Or, are you strong enough, you little boy?
Yeah, right. Okay, next one. Eat for your liver. So you could be eating the right foods and
don't
exercising.
Eat liver.
Yes, eat liver.
No, don't eat liver. No.
I love liver.
No.
Epic makes the pork rind people and the beef bar people, they make like a beef and liver jerky bites now. And nobody knows they have liver in them. They just taste like beef jerky. You don't even know. It's awesome. So everybody's getting their vitamin A from the liver and they don't even know. It's awesome. Okay, so eat for your liver, but yes, if you don't love liver, you don't have to. You can actually buy liver pills too, just to get the benefits of eating for liver. But there's other ways to eat for your liver. One of them is avoiding all of the refined garbage, specifically things like corn and even gluten-free grains. Those can still harm your liver. Our liver was never, I did put in my notes, our liver was never meant to deal with the amount of sugar that we consume. So most Americans are consuming 140 pounds of sugar per year now. Per year. And somebody's making up for me because I'm not consuming it, so who's eating my share?
Is that like regular sugar?
That's like, if you added up all the foods that they're eating in a year, if they weighed the amount of sugar that was in fruit, or carbohydrate foods like pasta, or crackers
And soda,
or pretzels
probably.
and soda and donuts and sugary things, but not sugary things too, like things that convert to sugar, like bread. That's 140 pounds a year. Yeah, was that
For one person.
for one person, one human.
Dang. That's a lot.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. But eating for your liver means that you're going to eat things that help your liver do its job of detoxification, which interestingly enough doesn't just mean liver, but it is foods that have a good amount of vitamin A, because vitamin A helps your liver. And really, vitamin A has two forms. I did a whole webinar on this too. So you've got beta carotene, and then you've got the retinol. Those are the two kinds of vitamin A. Okay. So vitamin A and beta carotene isn't as well absorbed as the animal source that's retinol. So again, another like shout out to meat, because meat actually contains vitamin A that will help your liver. So meat helps your liver. So
Is it red, white, lean,
red
weeny?
meat. I mean, I'm going to be honest and say red meat, and then fish, like anything that's a fatty fish, like a wild caught salmon or sardines. Those are all. I'm not done with you yet. I don't think I put enough lemon. I didn't put enough lemon.
Oh, that was bad.
That
was bad.
I'm gonna do it
That
again,
was bad.
and I'm not gonna tell you. And I'm gonna tell you it's tuna salad, and you're gonna eat it. And be like, it is tuna salad. That's incredible.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm. Okay, so
If I'm dying of anorexia, you may be able to feed me some sardines. Besides that,
okay, I'll remember that. Also, in accordance to your liver, this doesn't just mean what you're eating, but what you're drinking. Okay, so we want to avoid, maybe you're eating the best diet, you're like eggs for breakfast and salad for lunch, and then I'm having a sensible dinner with meat and protein and veggies, and but you're drinking orange juice or apple juice all day long. So an 8-ounce glass of apple juice is equivalent to 4 apples, and if you're not going to sit and eat 4 apples, which could be consumed over, like, it would probably take you like 20-30 minutes to consume 4 apples, and you'd have the fiber that would slow down the sugar in that. How long does it take you to drink 8 ounces of apple juice?
how long does it take to drink it?
Yeah. I mean, if I just set a glass of apple juice, how quickly could you consume it?
Well, if it was a challenge, I could do it really fast.
Right, like 5 seconds,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So sometimes it's not the food that you're taking in, but the speed at which the food is going in, okay? So let's take...
Really?
Yeah, because let's say, for example, you have a coffee in the morning, and you're putting, I just do a little bit of sugar. It's not a lot, it's just a little. That's the only sugar I have all day. So that can't be the reason I'm not losing weight. Number one, caffeine is cortisol to your body. So if you're doing it too much, that will spike that reason why you're not losing weight as well, because cortisol is pumping out blood sugar. And number two, let's say that you have that cup of coffee, and you're like, oh, it's good, oh, it's good, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. It's gone in like a minute, okay? That was a big hit of sugar, even if it was just a little bit, right then. And then you go make another cup. Or let's say that you make a cup and you just kind of tiny sip on it all through 4 hours of the morning. Like from 7 to 10, you finally get to it at 10 and it's like, ooh, it's cold, I'm not even going to finish it. Okay, so that's not going to affect you as much as that cup that you're like, it's good, it's good, it's good, and you just keep pounding it back, and then you go make another one.
So if you just slowly sip it, that's better than chugging it back?
Yeah, or these people that buy kombuchas, and you're like, I don't know why I'm bloated right after I eat a kombucha, or drink a kombucha. Well, a kombucha, number one, has about 12 grams of sugar in it if you drink the whole bottle, and that's like having...
I knew you shouldn't drink it.
No, they are good. Like, I like to, if I buy one, I will put it in with sparkling water. I'll just put like a little shot of it in there just to give it a sparkling water taste. I don't like chug the whole bottle because it's 12 grams of sugar. So that's like drinking juice. And most people I see, like, maybe they'll get one at lunchtime and they're just pounding it at lunchtime with their lunch. So it's like, all right, here's your sugar with your lunch, versus the people that are like, I buy a kombucha and I'll drink a little bit this day and a little bit this day.
Oh, what happened?
Uh-oh, I don't know. Are we frozen? Can you still see us or hear us? Have we got any comments anyway? I haven't even seen.
What is it?
I don't either. We may have to restart. The timer's still running, but we may have to restart the podcast. So if you're watching this and you can hear us, tune back in just a second, because I'm going to restart this, I think. Mute microphone. No. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. What if I turn around? Or what if I do this and come out? So we're back. And we're cutting our heads off a little bit, so let me fix that. Okay, so where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, the kombucha. Okay,
yes.
so yeah, if you were going to nurse that over like the course of a day, then fine. But if you're going to pound a kombucha all at once, that sugar converts quickly, and it could be the reason why you're not losing weight. It's a small factor that can add up because the speed that something hits your body affects how your body reacts to it and how much glucose it puts out. If it's a really sweet drink, which we're going to talk about things like stevia too, where you're over sweetening the drink, and so your body goes, whoa, lots of sugar. I've got to send out a ton of insulin to deal with this. And yet stevia doesn't have any sugar in it. So you're just sending this signal to your body that stresses it out. So all of these like hits that happen quickly can add up. So you need to be careful and mindful of those.
So when you drink it slow, your body's able to handle that digestion.
Yeah, just a little bit of glucose is put out at a time.
And it can burn it.
Right, and then so insulin goes, oh, there's just a little bit of glucose, so I'm just going to send out a little bit of insulin. And so insulin takes that. Insulin is the key that unlocks the door that gets glucose into the cell of your body. But if there's this big bolus of sugar or this big bolus of something sweet, then your insulin's like, whoa, and then it like sends out all the troops, and then there's way too much insulin and not enough glucose because insulin did its job way too well, and then you crash, and then you reach for something else. And then it turns into this daily cycle where people are up and down, and they use food to monitor that up and down. Oh, I'm low. I need a Snickers, or I need a candy, or I need something off.
So if I get a bag of M&Ms and just eat like one every few minutes.
Yeah, do that. Let me know how that works for you.
Okay, so you would be proud of me. I had a Jodelle moment the other day.
Oh. Could
I mention a name on here? It's one of
maybe
she's a follower. Okay, Sue.
Okay.
At the school.
Mm-hmm.
She had some parents standing and talking to her, and as I was walking by, they said something about not feeling well and they had a sore throat and stuff, and and I had some thieves oil with me, and I said, "Oh, I'll be right back." So I came back, and one of them said, "And my head's really been hurting. I think I need to eat an orange," and I said, "Well." Why? I kind of chuckled and, because I've never heard that before. I was like, why would you eat an orange? And she said, I think I need some energy, some sugar. Yeah. And I said, I had my Jodelle moment. I said, did you know that one orange has more sugar in it than a grown adult woman needs in a day?
Check her out.
And she goes, and she was like, what? And I said, it does. I said, it's got a ton of sugar in it, and that's way more. And I said, that might not help your headache. It'll probably make it worse.
Well, what she was probably needing was water.
Yeah.
Because most headaches stem from dehydration. So when you feel that afternoon or mid-morning of like, oh, here it comes, it's coming, and it's daily, you might go, how much water am I drinking? Because this seems to happen every day, and I tend to drink about the same amount of water every day because we tend to do that. And maybe my body needs more water than I'm actually consuming. So that's one of the things I had on here was, again, you might be eating appropriately and exercising, but you're dehydrated.
Not drinking enough.
And I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast, but I have a new way of making people drink water. And all I have to do is
put it in a beer can?
No. Oh. That's a novel idea. All I have to do is tell them what the repercussion is of not drinking water with regard to the turkey neck. So for those of you that are either have already or are concerned about getting a turkey neck where you have the like gobbler that hangs down and you're this beautiful face but you've got the dangly skin down here. The reason for that is when you are chronically dehydrated over time, your salivary glands increase and they stretch out the skin, and over time as you age and you stay dehydrated, you gain a turkey neck because the salivary glands have now enlarged more than they were supposed to, and your body's making room for it, and the skin starts to sag in response to that. So actually,
more water.
Turkey neck is actually dehydration in its fullest form. So
are you serious?
Yes. And so everybody.
Do any of these exercises help?
No, they don't, because that doesn't help with hydration. This drinking water helps. And everybody makes fun of my bottle.
So is that true for men and women?
That's not water, you're drinking vino. And I'm like, no, it's water, smell it.
Is it true for men and women?
Well,
Because
women,
men can get an ugly one too.
they can, and so that's what I say. Men aren't immune, but you will notice it more on a woman.
Yeah.
And who does it offend more? A woman.
Yeah.
Like men are like,
Men
I
don't
don't
care.
care.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're scratching themselves. Oh, I got a turkey neck. Okay.
know.
Whoopee.
But us women are like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
hold it up.
Oh
pull
yeah,
it
they'll
back.
wear a scarf around their neck.
Right. Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
have
don't have
anything.
to if you make sure that starting now you start properly hydrating every day.
8 glasses of water a
It's
day.
not 8.
5 or 6.
No, it's drink all the time. Like drink, have water always with you. If you're gonna choose something,
You
choose
heard
water.
that. Drink all the time.
It's like don't stop praying. Like you should never stop praying.
Yeah, you
Never stop
pray
praying.
and you drink water.
That's right.
That's what we do all day
Yes,
long.
yes, that's
Carrie
my
Walker
motto.
would agree with me.
You
Drink
pray
all day.
and maybe you should pray and drink water at the same time. So pray that you
That's
don't
a
get
good
a turkey.
idea. Could you have some herbal tea while you're praying?
Well, herbal tea is water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So we want to avoid the ones that dehydrate you. Like if you're going to do coffee, just do 1 cup, and then the rest of the day, your beverage of choice is water. And no, 8 cups is not valid because let's say 8 cups a day for the 4'11" grandma that sits in her chair and rocks all day and knits versus 260-pound bodybuilder man. Do you think he needs 8 glasses of water a day or more? Grandma can get away with 8 glasses of water a day because she's a petite human that just doesn't do a lot of activity. But somebody who's very active and very big and has more body mass, why would 8 glasses apply to all humans?
Well,
like, we're so different.
See, you're tricking me. So he needs more than that?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, like he needs lots more. So again, you take your body weight in half because most of our body is made of water. So we need to replace it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. The infusers, the people,
Yeah.
if you put fruit in there, what do you think about that?
That's fine. It just gives it an infusion of flavoring, like strawberry water or blueberry water.
Well, that's what I'm
whatever.
saying is you just need to be cut, like you don't think like your fruit high in sugar should be in there.
No, because you're just
Mainly
you
berries?
could actually put mango or something in there. You're just getting the infusion. You're not like eating the whole entire fruit.
Okay,
so.
that's what I was, so you could really just put about anything in there and
Yeah.
have that for your water.
Yeah, for sure. Now these, even though they're delicious, they don't count as water. Okay?
Yeah.
Because now I will tell you that these are good like as a treat. You want them once in a while. You've hydrated well all day, then go ahead and have one. However, the sparkling mineral waters such as like Gerolsteiner and Mountain Valley, and it says mineral on it, those count because the minerals will keep that water intact. And those companies like Mountain Valley and Gerolsteiner are from the source carbonated. So that carbonation that's in there is actually from the source of the underground spring. So now some companies will add carbonation, but find the ones that don't. And then if you're going to drink it, know that it needs to be sparkling mineral water, not just sparkling water. Okay? Because this can just be dehydrating too. Not as bad, not like soda that has caffeine or something. So there's that. Okay, so now that I'm going to go on to eating too little and too often perhaps. Like maybe you're having like a little Yoplait yogurt in the morning, and then at 10 you have your granola bar, and then at noon you have your little salad from the grocery store, and then at 11 you have your like a handful of almonds. I just had half an almond. So
An almond.
Yeah, and then you have your sensible dinner. You feel like you're on track with your eating, which, by the way, what I just mentioned is not what I consider a healthy diet. So if that's you, please come talk to me because I want to get you on track. But let's say hypothetically that that's you, just these little bits of kindling to put on your fire. Okay, if you lived in your home and you daily went to your fireplace and just put a little twig in there, and then you close the door, and then you go, oh, that's going to burn up, so I have to stay by the fire and put another little twig in, and then close the door. But I can't go run my errands, I can't go to work because I have to keep the fire going, so I have to put a little twig in. How's that working for you? Because your house is not going to stay warm unless you're there, unless you're always feeding it. So you become a sugar burner, these little bitty bits all day long. Your body is in the habit of needing that, so it will call on that. It will say at 10 o'clock, oh, stomach's growling, time to eat. You only put a little tiny kindling on the fire this morning, and that didn't last me very long. Yoplait yogurt lasts about 45 minutes, so
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm going to need a little bit more than that. Versus putting a log on the fire first thing in the morning, and then guess what what? You don't have to tend to the house all day long. It stays warm. And this goes back to the thyroid too. For those of you that do have low thyroid, you'll know it because you'll be very cold. Well, for the most part, you'll know it. I didn't know it, and because I don't run cold, but you'll know it because that is one of the symptoms of you're just chronically cold. Okay, so that's indicative of not eating enough calories or going too long between meals to where your fire has burned out. Your thyroid and your metabolism go together, and that's your furnace. Okay, your thyroid is in charge of your metabolism that burns all the food that you take in for energy, and that's your internal furnace. So again, if you're not putting wood on the fire, or it's too infrequent, or it's too little, it's a little kindling instead of logs, then you are going to have issues with weight loss because your body will slow down metabolism in response to the calories and the foods that you're taking in. So it'll go, wow, she really only ate like 2 meals today and they were pretty small, like 400 calories in total. So I'm going to have to slow down how much energy I'm burning out, like how much I can put out in response to the fire that she's putting in, you know? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll have people that go, my energy's slowing down. I just don't feel like I have enough energy, and I've got this new workout program I'm trying to do, but I don't have the energy for it. And then that's when I go, oh, light bulb, not eating enough. You've got to eat enough. And you know, it's for women, and I'll speak to this because those of you that have been watching me know what I'm doing right now. I'm doing this all meat approach, and it's not for everybody, but it's helping me. And if you saw my Instagram post, you can see that it's anti-aging me too. Like, it's actually helping me. And I'm about to get blood work done to prove that I've improved my thyroid after just a month of doing it. But set that aside, because just eating meat, it doesn't mean you have to go on an all meat diet. What I'm trying to get women to understand is that it's okay to eat red meat. And if you don't like it, sometimes it can be an ethical reason, but it also could be you have low stomach acid and you don't digest it well, so you have a natural aversion to it. But women, and especially women, should be eating red meat.
Someone I know.
You're such a finger pointer.
Sorry.
Women in general should be eating red meat. Men are really good at it, and if you think about it, why do men not have as many health issues as women do?
Because
Could it be that they eat more appropriately and they eat higher calorie foods versus these little twigs and berries we poke at all day long as women?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they don't care.
We need like some substance, okay? So now with what I'm eating in the morning, I'm getting about 1,000 calories at breakfast because I'm eating like a pound of meat and butter and coconut oil for breakfast, basically, okay? So I'm getting a lot of fat and a lot of protein. And I think for a while, part of my thyroid issue is I was malnourished. Okay,
So give me an example of what you're eating for breakfast. Like this morning, what did you have?
This morning I had a pound of grass-fed meat.
A pound?
A pound.
By yourself?
Yes.
You ate a pound?
Now, when you cook it down, it's not quite a pound. It starts out as a pound, and then you cook it down, it's probably about 10 ounces.
What, was it hamburger or?
It was grass-fed, grass-finished, hamburger meat that I sauteed up with butter.
And you just ate that.
And then I put MCT oil and coconut oil and butter in my coffee. My husband calls it. It's fake coffee. It's called Kapobo. It's like this what is it? It's like a Mayan nut that's ground up. So there's no caffeine or anything.
I think I smelled that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
Awesome.
Okay, so you ate the hamburger.
Yes.
Just by itself.
Yeah.
With the butter and stuff in there. Like with a spoon, a fork,
now,
a straw?
No, just a spoon. Now, sometimes I have like a couple of duck eggs and then like a steak, like a small ribeye. So.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes. And I love it. It's like I don't even crave anything but meat right now. But anyway, this is a whole different subject. What I'm trying to point out
it's not a whole different subject because you're saying that women need more substance and...
Right, I want them to eat more meat. Doesn't mean they have to eat like I'm doing.
I know,
but pretty extreme.
I know, but that's just an example.
Because I will be putting like data out so you can see that and that me and many other people that are doing this are not crazy. Like there is actually research behind this, which I'm going to be talking about too. Because I'm doing, if you follow me on YouTube and on Patreon, I'm doing updates about what I'm doing, what's happening to my body as I do this. So, but women are afraid of red meat. Most of them will eat what? White chicken breast, turkey. What else? Maybe a little bit of ham.
A little bit of fish.
Yeah, fish is the big one for women, but you rarely will see a woman like go to a restaurant and go, I'll have your porterhouse. You know, like, but that's what our bodies need. Okay, so here's the scenario. I was eating.
What if you actually don't like it though? You know me. I don't.
You do. You like burgers. You eat burgers.
Yeah, I'll eat a hamburger, but
Right.
like a steak, I don't like steak.
Well, that's fine.
I always
but
like just the
There's a
tip
woman
where
named
it's
that people
burned.
can look up named Kelly Hogan, and she went from 260 pounds to I think she's like 130 now, and she switched to an all meat diet, and all she eats all day long is hamburgers. But they're high quality. But that's all. She just makes hamburgers and she eats them all
Just
day
hamburger
long.
patty with like.
And you think it sounds extreme, and you think she sounds crazy, but yet she was infertile when she was when she was 260 pounds. She had PCOS. She had all these health implications. When she became all meat, now she's been doing this for 8 years now. When she became all meat, she was able to have 3 children successfully. Her PCOS went away, all of her health issues went away, and now she's completely like healthy and she loves her life. Like,
So did she cut out? She didn't cut out veggies, did she?
yeah, no meat, no veggies.
Really?
It's all meat. I mean, that's what I'm doing too. I don't have any veggies. And here's why. This is the point I was getting to, is that, and we talked about this before. Remember the amount of vegetables that I was eating when
Yes,
I
I
lived at
know
your house?
that,
It was
yeah.
mass quantities, okay?
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing a lot of meat with that. I might just have a can of sardines and this gigantic salad,
Yeah.
okay? So the salad itself was maybe like 100 calories. So it was like a voluminous dish, but there wasn't a lot to it as far as things that my body needed for how active I was. The sardines maybe had another 100 calories. Then I would add some fat on there, maybe some full fat mayo or some avocado or something, maybe another 100 calories. 300 calories in this gigantic salad bowl. And so I was thinking, oh, this is good. I'm doing good for my body. I'm eating all these veggies and I'm getting my protein and blah blah blah. But I was malnourished. I was only getting like 1,000 calories a day. And so I needed a more high density. Hey Barbie, come on in. I needed a more high density
She's talking
approach.
about you right now.
And that's what I'm getting, and my body's responding to it. So that's a whole nother subject. But my point is, I want women to eat red meat, regardless of whether they eat a full meat diet. I want them to eat red meat.
Do you think it? But are you saying that? You're not saying to cut out veggies altogether, are you?
Not for everyone. No, it's not for the right individual. If you do really well on vegetables, then do them. I found that I actually right before I started this wasn't. I was starting to have to cut out.
Well, you were eating a ton of them, though.
I was eating a bag at one time.
Yes.
Yes. And so I think I had overdone it, just like you can overdo anything.
So we could, if you want to go to a higher meat diet or higher protein, you could have like a steak or a hamburger patty or something and have a side salad.
Yeah.
And that'd be okay.
But I want people to make the focus of their meal the
protein.
Meat
and fat.
Yeah, and I'm going back on my words because if you would have followed me on our podcast,
I know that's what I'm having a hard time with. I'm like,
I wanted meat to be the side dish, and a lot of other people out there did too. There was this movement of like all veggies all the time, and yes, you should have protein, but it should be in small amounts. And for the right individual, that may be the case. But now I'm going back to what I started with, because if you rewind all the way to when I started nutrition, I was a protein pusher. And I've always inherently known that. And when I looked at the research about veggies and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I'm going to start pushing that people eat a little less red meat and a little more veggies, because that's what everybody's talking about in the diet dogma world. But now I'm so glad.
Dogma.
I'm glad I found out what I found out, because I can go back to my original logical thinking, because I'm always telling people, think logically. Okay, if we had, logically right now, if we had to live off of the land, what would you eat? If you lived in the woods and you had to go kill something or eat something right now.
See, I couldn't kill anything.
You would die.
I know.
If you can't kill anything, you would die.
But I would eat plants.
What would you eat right now? What plants are in the woods that you could eat right now? There are none. I've been out there.
True.
I've been hiking in the woods in my back. We have 32 acres, and I went out to see what could I forage for right now.
Roots.
If you know how, or maybe a mushroom or two, but is that going to sustain you? Are you going to live on that? No. You're either going to waste away.
Okay, so let's say
and wait till summer and fast until summer and hope you make it.
Let's say right now, I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
Right now, if I said, okay, Jodelle, tomorrow I want to follow a meal plan, how much protein would you want me to eat at a serving?
I would want you to eat.
Because you used to say like a palm. Are you going bigger now?
I would want you to eat until you get to the end of that meal and you say, I'm satisfied.
Of the meat?
Yes.
And then eat my veggies?
Yes. I'm satisfied with this portion. If you get to the end of a piece of meat and you go, I could still eat more. Then chances are what you're lacking
So,
is fat or protein. And the protein that you pick should be full fat. It should not be lean chicken breast. It should not be lean turkey breast. It should be the legs, the thighs, the stuff with the fat on it, because that's what humans would eat. That's what our human biology
so
is.
like let's say a hamburger patty or sirloin, whatever, and an avocado, because that's your good fat.
Well, that you should buy a full fat ground meat. If you're buying the meat, it should be like not lean
Yeah,
meat.
not the lean kind.
So you're getting fat in there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you, yeah,
That
of
makes
course,
sense.
have the
Okay.
avocado with it and have a cup of veggies with it, stuff like that.
Okay.
But it should be substantial enough that you get full off of that meal. If you get to the end of the meal, it's not because
So
you
if I
didn't eat
get
enough
to the-
carbs. It's just because you didn't eat enough fat or protein.
So if I get to the end of the meal and I still want something, do I have another hamburger patty or another piece of steak?
That's what I would do,
Okay.
because
See, it's just going against what we've been taught forever, and it's.
it is.
I mean,
it's
it's
going against the female nature of like eat these small,
Yeah.
tiny little meals, and they should be low fat, and they should be the white breast, and they should be this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. But how's that working for
Well,
us?
'cause-
As a nation, the women are the sickest. The men are actually
right.
faring okay.
And it's like you were saying, like you go to a restaurant, the man orders I'll have the porterhouse and blah blah blah, and then I'll have a grilled chicken salad,
Yeah.
or a side salad.
And then what are they doing? What are they doing when their husband's eating the steak? They're like, can I have a little bite? You want that? You can
No
eat that
kidding.
One? They want that
You
one?
want to share that?
Can I have one of
Are
your
we gonna
fries
s-
too? Okay. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like we need to go back into what women needed. Like if a woman was logically living in, like, let's think of Indians, for example. So the Indian men would go out and hunt and gather during the day, and the women would stay and take care of the teepees and the children, tend to the meals that was going to be cooked that day. But they wouldn't be eating the lean chicken breast that the men brought home, during the day they might have what was left over from the night before, or they might have access to, berries or fat or whatever was available as far as like nuts and seeds and stuff. But whatever was brought home, they would eat a large quantity because they had to nurse children. Their main job was to be barefoot and pregnant. So they couldn't do these little bitty intermittent meals all day. They had to substantially create enough breast milk for the baby. And I'll tell you, I think that the reason why there's so many women that cannot breastfeed right now is because they're not eating enough calories, and they're not eating enough of the nutrient-dense food. They're eating like foods that aren't as nutrient-dense to make breast milk. Okay, because they're relying on
that.
the refined garbage or the processed foods.
Garbage.
Yeah.
She came up with a new word.
And this coming from someone who tried to induce lactation because I was adopting. I just tried for 3 months to pump and make milk for my daughter, but I couldn't, so I had to use formula. But at the same time, I really want to commend women that give it a valiant effort, and I also want to commend women that try and it just doesn't happen. But if you're going to try again for your next baby, think about, all right, this time I'm pounding red meat, I'm doing a good amount of fat on my vegetables, because vegetables should never be done without fat. They need the fat to be absorbed by your body. So if you're going to do them, make sure you're doing them with the fat. But nutrient dense, like you need higher calorie foods. Many of us are, if you look at like the one thing the FDA or the food guide pyramid had right is like most of us should be eating around 2,000 calories a day. But how many women do you know do that? Not unless it's a free day, and they're going to Andy's.
Yeah.
So in all reality, we need to look at it in terms of, I actually should be aiming for about 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. Not that I want you to be a calorie counter again, but think of in terms of, well, what's my husband eating? We're roughly the same size, so maybe I need to look at what he's doing versus what I'm doing. Well, if your husband is the same size, because many people's are not. So.
Well, I remember that one summer that you came to the pool and you saw and you told me you need to be, because the scale got stuck and I was frustrated, and you were like, you move too much, and you told me to eat more.
Active, yeah.
I had to eat more to be able to lose, because I wasn't.
Because your body will drop down to the level that you're consuming in energy, and will stall there because it's like, I don't have enough metabolism to burn stored body fat. I'm just trying to survive on what she's giving me, which goes back to that stress response, because it's a stressor on the body, and so the body says, let's turn this muscle into blood sugar and pump out insulin and get fat storing going, because this is a stressful famine time. She's not feeding me enough, so now we're in stressed out mode. Okay, so before I miss out on talking about our synthetic fiber thing, I'm going to run through the rest of these really fast. So we talked a little bit about for weight loss resistance, how too much things even like stevia can make blood sugar spike because your taste buds think that something's sweet coming in. So let's say you're eating, what I call the bodybuilder diet, where they're doing like these low fat protein shakes all day long, but those protein shakes are really sweet tasting. So the body says, oh, that's like a milkshake coming in, release a ton of insulin. Well, there is actually no sugar in it because it's an artificial sweetener or it's stevia or something. So the blood sugar isn't really affected, but insulin goes high, and then it subsequently drops shortly thereafter. And then the bodybuilder goes, oh, it's time to eat. I'm getting that low again. It's been 2 hours. So that's the mentality behind too many spikes and crashes, and that can cause weight loss resistance too. Okay, so next, antibiotics. Have you taken antibiotics lately? And a lot of people will say no, and some people will say yes, but a lot of us are eating it without knowing it, okay? So 80%...
In our food?
Yes. 80% of the antibiotics are found in conventional meat. So when you're going and just buying whatever meat, welcome to your antibiotics for the day. Also, tap water, okay? People are flushing pills, they're peeing out their antibiotic when they take it. It's going into the waterways, and did you know that a lot of our tap water systems now are recycled from sewage? So whatever people are peeing out, all their medications are staying in the urine, and then it's getting recycled, and they can't get that out for the tap water system. Bunny's puking right now, so just give her a second. But that's what I mean, is like we're taking antibiotics without realizing it. So number one, buy grass-fed meat if you can, and number two, filter your water so you're not getting antibiotics, or get some sort of system that doesn't, or well water or something. Yes, Barbie. Barbie has a question.
What about well water?
Well water, yeah. So if you know the source, it's your well, because I have a well too, and it's deep down. We dug really deep to get down to it. You still want to get it tested just to see, but chances are it's probably okay unless you bleach your lines. Some wells bleach their lines, and that can cause you to have more chlorine in your water too.
Why do they bleach their lines?
To clean them, and it's ridiculous. It's like you can have good bacteria in there. Do you know a movement right now that a lot of people are doing is called findaspring.com, and you actually go get your own water from a local spring, which we happen to live by Reed Spring, where there's an artesian well that you can go get water from. Yeah. And that's actually the most mineralized and filtered water because the earth filters it. And
so
it mineralizes
I don't understand why they would bleach it.
So if you have a local spring, or if you think you do, you can look it up on findaspring.com, and you can actually go get artesian well water.
So I didn't know we could get water down there.
Yeah, you can do it. It's like public domain. You can go get it anywhere you want to. Some people are weirded out by it because they're like, oh, it's like down in there, and I don't know what's growing in it and stuff. But good bacteria is good too. Like it might have some microbes in it, but that may be what your gut needs, So, okay. So antibiotics, if you can choose grass-fed meats, that you're better off. And then get out of your box. Okay, that's the next tip I'm going to give. Boxed living. So let's say you are in drywall all day at home, at your office, a boxed garage you're in. Okay, so here's this example. You're in the drywall home, you get in your car, you drive to the grocery store, you're inside a wall, you drive to your office, you're inside a wall, you go all these things, and you're outside for like maybe a total of 5 minutes every day. This is unnatural for the human, okay? The human should be outside, and we have become an indoor nation, and I'm trying to break people of that. Get outside as much as you can.
It's because they have to play their games.
Right, I know. And at least if you're going to be on your phone, be on it outside. So you get a little bit of grounding.
Be in a lawn chair.
And sunshine while you're texting or whatever. Or set it down and go outside. There's a wonderful world to go explore. Hiking and biking. My brother and his wife love mountain biking. You can go and just walk outside with your bare feet and get grounded. You can go and stand and look at the sunrise when it comes up in the morning before work. I do that every day. I have to see the sun come up every day, and I like to see the sun go down every day if I can. But every morning I like to see that sun come up. It's good for your eyes. It tells your body, this is day. It's time to be energized and pump out the right hormones, okay? Again, it goes back to circadian rhythm. So that's all important for weight loss if you're having weight loss resistance. Circadian rhythm is huge.
So when I covered my head with the blankets because the sun's shining in the window, you don't like.
Maybe if you go to bed earlier, then your body would naturally wake up when the sun gets up, and you'd be like, hey, I'm ready to go party.
If you didn't have me to gripe at, what would you do?
I'd be really bored.
Yeah, see.
Okay, so now we move on to synthetic fiber. So if you rewind back to a few podcasts on iTunes, I did a whole topic on this too, but I wanted to touch on it more so because I've dug up quite a bit of more research. And this goes along with weight loss resistance too, because what if the clothes that you're wearing are causing you to stay...
Scratch.
Oh. Well, that, or stay bigger than you want to be because we have eliminated, let's say you're doing the whole, like, I'm eating well and I'm exercising and I've eliminated all my plastics and I eat out of everything glass and stainless steel, but yet you're wearing plastic all day long. Okay, I've talked about this a little bit, but I have a lot more to go by now. So the fashion industry is the third most polluting industry in the world. The fashion industry, the third most. Did you hear that?
What about when Lady Gaga wore chicken?
Oh my gosh. And the second largest consumer of water. So if we have a water shortage, you know who to blame now is the fashion industry. The making of fabric that uses water, energy, and chemicals and other resources that most people don't think about or ever see. So, and I'm going to tell you how polyester is made, okay? But we know it's not hopeless and that the industry is subject to positive change. Just look at how the use of fur is almost non-existent, okay? So
it should be.
That's right. And how many companies are making small steps towards sustainable. So when you see recycled polyester pants, like tiki pants, I'm going to tell you why that doesn't matter. But it's nice that they're trying, okay? I give them A- for effort, you know.
That's what she said about Cheerios when I texted her and said, hey, Cheerios are going gluten-free. She was like, so?
Thanks for playing.
They're still a
They're still sugar. Okay?
Yeah.
Even if they don't have sugar on them, they're still sugar. We may not be drinking out of plastic, but we're daily living in it. Okay, so here goes. That basically means that our clothes are increasingly made of plastic. Polyester is a polymer or a plastic. It's a long chain of repeating molecular units. And here's how it works. So
even if it's recycled plastic, we don't want to wear it.
It's still plastic.
I know.
You want to drink out of a recycled plastic bottle?
No.
Okay, then you don't want to put it on your body. Oh, Barbie's. Hey, Case will give you a glass cup when you come. You just have to ask him. So, the most common variety is polyethylene terephthalate. Okay,
that sounds like a flammable.
PET for short, PET. Okay, and I'm going to go into a research study I found about this. This is really cool. It's really sad, but it's really so.
No sadness. No sadness.
So PET, a plastic derived from crude oil that's used to make soda and ketchup bottles. When melted, it has the consistency of cold honey. This is how polyester is made, so pay attention. And if you squeeze it through a spinneret, kind of like a shower head in your bathroom, you get a long continuous filament. Draw those filaments into fibers and weaves lots and lots of fibers together, and you have a fabric. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So they're taking plastic and they're like making it this melted filament, and then they weave it all through these little things, and it becomes a fiber that now they can make pants out of. Yeah. So it's just plastic pants basically. Okay, so here's the study that I found. Common plastics such as polyethylene or polypropylene or polystyrene and PET, here it is in there, are extremely persistent in the environment where they undergo very slow fragmentation. It takes centuries to break them down, okay, into small particles through photophysical and biological degradation, okay. The fragmentation of the material into increasingly smaller pieces is an unavoidable stage of degradation, and plastic materials degrade into these microparticles, what they're calling microplastics, which are persistent in the environment and present a potential source of harm for organisms. What's an organism?
That's what we're made of.
We are an organism. Yeah. Whales are an organism.
Yeah.
Fish are an organism.
All,
Like, we're harming ourselves and our seas and our animals by this overabundance of polyester that started in 1951 that needs to be done away with. And nobody is talking about this. Okay, what I'm looking for is one person out there who's an innovator and an inventor, and they want to come up with a clothing line that's sustainable and does not have polyester in it, but is made of this new sea cell technology that's made of Icelandic seaweed that is very usable. So I've done my research. I'm just looking for that person because I'm not an innovator. So okay, now the next thing. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about with it.
So how brain kind of hurts.
I know. So I want you to go through your closet like I did in that one first podcast and look how much polyester is in things, because you will be amazed at how much polyester is in your closet. It's really sad. So we need to just become aware. That's the first thing.
Why are you shaking your head?
But they work at Under Armour.
You don't want.
Oh dear, Barbie works at Under Armour. Oh dear.
Oh Jesus.
So yeah, so there's that. Okay, and then so how is it going into our waterways? Here's a new study. Okay, this is 2016. Washing clothes made from synthetic materials has been identified as a potentially important source of microscopic fibers to the environment. The study examined the release of fibers from polyester, polyester cotton, and acrylic. So think about your acrylic sweaters and leg warmers and things like that. These fabrics were laundered under various conditions and temperatures, detergent and different fabric, like softeners and stuff. Fibers from the waste were examined in the mass, an abundance of fiber. I'm trying to go through this as fast as possible.
That's fine.
But bottom line is, let's go to the back end here. As fibers have been reported in effluent from sewage treatment plants, our data indicates that fibers released by washing of clothes could be an important source of microplastics to aquatic habitats. That's how it's getting in our waterways. So you're washing these clothes, the microparticles break down during the washing cycle. You don't see them, but they're going in the water. The water's coming out and going into our groundwater, could be going back into our drinking water through our wells, but it's also going into our waterways, and we wonder why salmon are having a problem with fertility now. Okay, salmon are having a problem reproducing because of possibly what's in our waterways. Okay, microplastics that are like BPA that cause infertility.
Well, it's probably why a lot of animals, in, a roundabout way, it's probably, where a lot of them are endangered. And I know it's because of hunting and stuff like that, but it could be also, it's got to be affecting.
Yeah, it affects
everybody.
us all.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that they made it going, oh, cool, have polyester pants and go to the disco. Like, they didn't think that it was going to start to kill off populations of endangered species.
Yeah.
Because there's like 800 monk seals left in Hawaii. I wonder why.
Right.
Is it because they get hit by boats, or is it because there's something in our waterway that they're ingesting that's killing them?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because why now in our, in the world,
planet, basically, we're killing ourselves and we're killing our planet. And my job is to get this out to the public so that somebody will stand up with me and go, we got to do something. It's kind of like the cell phone towers. I'm still putting together a document to take to my local Branson West City and say, can I run like a thing that says that you can't put a cell phone tower in the vicinity of a community unless everybody votes for it, even though it's your land, because it affects anybody that's in a quarter-mile radius. So I'm going to be the next Erin Brockovich.
You might be. You might be.
But anyway, I digress. Okay, so the next one, let's see, where was I? So are we underestimating microplastic contamination? That's another study I found. A large majority of particles in products surveyed were less than 300, I think it's parts per minimum diameter. But basically, if I move on down to where you understand what I'm saying, to account for smaller particles as well as microfibers from synthetic textiles, we strongly recommend that future surveys consider methods of materials. This is basically saying that it's not just to do with like plastic trash ending up in our ocean. It's from synthetic textiles, okay, which means fabrics. Textile means fabric. Okay, so then there's the whole talk of synthetic dyes. I can go into that too, but you can look that up. Synthetic dyes have a big impact too because there's a lot of chemicals in those. It comes down to this though. The more synthetic clothing you wear, the greater risk of absorbing toxic chemicals that may harm your health, okay? While individual chemicals may not put your health at risk, the effects of chemicals interacting, creating unpredictable and negative outcomes can. And the effects of having so many, you're having this little pair of pants here and this shirt here, and it's one thing that you're wearing, but you're wearing it every day, and it's like, are you going to take a teeny tiny small amount of arsenic every day? Because we know what that'll add up doing. So what's this going to add up doing, kind of thing. So
I gotta leave at 5:15.
Oh, okay. So you got a few more minutes.
I got yoga.
So one of the last things I wanted to touch about was antimicrobial clothing. A lot of these companies are coming out with
fast.
a lot of these companies are coming out with antimicrobial, like, you won't stink, no odor, you're not going to sweat, it's going to like take away the germs. Okay, we want good bugs on our skin. That keeps us well. Okay, so triclosan is something that you find in hand sanitizer, like.
I thought that was in a turkey.
No, that's tryptophan.
Oh, well, what'd you say?
Triclosan. Triclosan is the chemical in like hand sanitizer that kills everything. Well, that's what they're putting in clothes now. Here's a study for you. Triclosan is a synthetic chemical with broad antimicrobial activity that has been used extensively in consumer products, including personal care products, textiles, that's clothing, and plastic kitchenware, although the exposure, which is widespread evidence from human studies, is scarce. The study provides evidence that exposure to triclosan is associated with poorer semen quality. Further studies are needed to confirm these findings. Meaning that if you are having trouble with fertility, you do not need to be wearing any antimicrobial clothing. Okay? And I don't think, this is just a study on men, but I don't think that women have any business wearing it either. So we don't need to be putting things in our body that are toxic chemicals and kill bacteria, because we are living organisms that need good bacteria on our skin and in our body. And if we're chronically killing that with antibiotics and antimicrobial things, it's no wonder we're such a sick nation. Okay? So take control of what you can to put on your skin. So until someone takes the initiative to create a truly sustainable, non-toxic clothing line, and recycled polyester doesn't count because it's still plastic. It's still polyester even if it's recycled. Here are a few things that you can do to drastically reduce your toxic overload with what you wear. Okay, so steer clear of anything easy care or flame retardant. Start getting rid of synthetic clothing. Polyesters, acetate blends, acrylic, and the really dark colors can do that too. Now I'm going to tell you about some brands that actually are good to buy. Okay, that's why I'm wearing my organic clothing today, to tell you. Start looking at the country of origin and the type of fabric used, because that makes a difference. Typically, if it's just plain cotton, that's good. I'm glad you chose cotton, but if it's made in China, chances are it's going to be highly sprayed cotton. Okay.
Sprayed?
Sprayed with pesticides.
Ew.
Buy clothing made from natural fibers like hemp, organic cotton, flax, silk, wool. Okay. Be sure that your cotton is organic, because cotton is considered one of the world's dirtiest crops due to its heavy use of insecticides and pesticides, more than any other crop actually. Alpaca, Angora, cashmere, mohair, ramie, and jute are also good fabric sources. And the same goes for your children's clothing. So for those of you that want to invest in really good, cheap children's clothing that are organic, Burt's Bees is online, and they have incredible clothes for kids. They last, they don't break down, they're all organic. You can get $10 jammies on there.
I didn't know they had clothes.
Their jammies are ridiculously cute, and they're $10 sometimes. Yeah, and they have sales all the time. So
how long have they had a clothing line?
Long enough that I've been a mom, because that's all I pretty much put Josie in, is like Burt's Bees, because it's all organic. So
I didn't know that.
And it's cheap.
Cool.
Okay, so before we run out of time, I want to give you some companies that I researched that you can go and start to rearrange your closet with. And they're not too crazy. Some of them
Get ready, Dale.
I know. Some of them are expensive, but like this one I'm wearing is called Lana's Llama. It's not made of llama or anything, but that's the name of her company. But this is like business attire. Like I've got my little button-up shirt here. This is all organic, and right now it's set on the website 75% off everything. So you can get like this shirt for like $20.
What's it called?
Lana's Llama.
Lana's
And I'll try to put all these in the show notes for you guys to check out too. I just ordered a swimsuit from Maria Malo, which is out of Spain, so it takes a bit to get here. But it's all organic clothes, and it's really hard to find organic swimwear, okay? So that was pretty cool to find that. Luz is another one, L-U-Z. It's out of France. And they make swimwear that is non-toxic. And that's, again, this is like the two companies I think in the world that are doing this, because I couldn't find hardly anybody else. Om Girl, that's O-M, and then Girl is for like people that want athletic wear. That's really nice.
How do you spell the Om?
O-M.
O-M, yeah. Girl?
Mm-hmm. Indigo Luna is another one that's really good. I mentioned Burt's Bees. Etsy has a lot of homemade mom shops that are selling like hemp clothing. That's an excellent choice. Hemp is probably the most long-lasting fabric you'll ever have, and it's really soft. And then Raganique, like specific organic, but Raganique. If you Google that, that's a really great one too. Hyde Yoga Apparel has really good clothes. I've bought several of their things. Prancing Leopard.
What's Hyde, like H-Y-D-E?
H-Y-D-E, Hemp Huggers, that's a good one. Synergy makes a lot of great athletic wear. And then also Athleta. So Juvo Board, who I work for, has just partnered with Athleta.
Oh, cool.
Or Athleta. I'm not sure how they like to be called, but to me it's like you're an athlete, you're not an athlete. So
yeah, no kidding.
So Athleta has a brand, a line of organic clothing, and it's so comfortable and soft and good. Now, some of these are going to have like 95% organic cotton and then like 5% elastane or 5%, something. Do the best you can. Are you going to be able to find 100% across the board everything? No. But the least amount of exposure you have and the least amount of exposure you can put into the environment, the better. So you don't have to get rid of like your most favorite things in your closet, but look to see what you can trade out for some other non-toxic fibers and do yourself and your environment and your family a favor with that. Okay? That's all I got. That's it.
Okay. Hey, you had some promo codes
Oh,
for
promo codes. Yeah, I have to do that. Okay.
the fat.
I'm so
Fat
glad
bomb?
you said that. Yes.
F-bomb?
So the F-bomb is, again, go to my shop page, click through. You'll see the little link for the F-bombs there. And then you, again, the same code, GETFIT. GETFIT. All one word. And that will give you 20% off. And then if you're looking for the crickets, the Aketa crickets, you can go to aketa.com.
Are you able to eat a cricket?
I haven't.
They're delicious. Do you like roasted sunflower seeds?
Oh, please.
That's what they taste like.
Yeah, but
Not
a
even
sunflower seed won't look at you right before you eat it and go, please don't eat me.
No, they're dead. They're not going to say that to you. They're roasted.
Yeah, but I can imagine they will. When I pick one up and it would go, wait a minute, don't eat me.
Listen, the Indians used to think that animals actually knew that their purpose was a circle of life and to take care of humans. So I'm just putting that out there. A lot of these animals are like, I'm doing my job. This is my job, is to supply food for the human. Just saying. It's kind of a known fact. I'm surprised you didn't know that. So Aketa, if you want to try to get 20% off at Aketa, you type in Jodelle, my name, Jodelle, and you'll get 20% off there.
What's Oketa?
Aketa, the cricket. Like
no.
Aketta. Yeah.
Or Save a Cricket.
So I think we've taken enough of their Thursday
Save the
afternoon
Cricket.
here.
www.bunny.com. Save the crickets.
Okay, so post your comments below after you watch this or while you're watching this. I'll be
All
coming
three
back.
of you.
Yeah, all three of you. Thank you for watching, all three of you. I think we had a fourth at one point in time.
Yeah,
but a lot of people will come back and watch
I know,
this later.
yeah.
So, and I'll probably post it up on YouTube too. So
Okay.
then we'll get a lot of hits.
Okay.
So, and a lot of like commenters that say the most random mean things.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for instance, I have the carnivore one up there, and I have like so many likes and like these two non-likes. And somebody posted, they were like, why do you look like such a ghoul? Like, you're all pussy and you have so much makeup on and you look disgusting. And I was
They
like,
said that to you or me?
No, like on the comments below, and I'm like, this cracks me up because whoever it was like took the time to like write that, and they didn't even like the podcast. Like, don't watch it if you don't like it.
No kidding.
Like, and anybody that knows me knows, like, do I cake on my makeup? Because half the time I don't even have makeup on.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I just got a big kick out of it. I'm like, comment away. I don't care because you're not going to offend me.
God, these people.
I love everybody, so you can't offend me. So
That's
there.
right.
All right, I'll check
See you
guys
later, and sorry about the John Stamos.
Yeah, right. Oh, how do we end this?
Did you know he got married?